Hi, welcome to Knits Up. I'm Mindy, your hostess, otherwise known as KnitterCNY. You can find me on Instagram as KnitterCNY. You can find a Facebook group for the podcast. And there's also a Ravelry group, but I don't really use that much. Mostly where I post about my projects is on Instagram. I picked the name Knits Up years ago to kind of remind me of Looney Tunes. Um, when they say, "What's up, Doc?" I thought, "Knits Up," you know. And so I usually talk about knitting, but I also crochet. I've done both of those for over 30 years. And I like to mix up my projects. I do everything from socks to sweaters to blankets to hats. And usually what I pick is relatively simple. I let the yarn do the work and I reap the benefits of that. And if you haven't already joined as a subscriber, please subscribe below and then hit the notification bell. That'll get you notifications when I post a new episode. And right now I'm at 185 subscribers. I'd like to get up to 200. We've talked about this before. I have a goddaughter who's 10 years old that when I hit 200 subscribers is going to get $5 from me because she took some photos last year during the winter that were publicity photos and also encouraged me to post more on Instagram and kind of gave me an inspirational speech and everything. And she is adorable. And I want to get to 200 subscribers just as a goal. It's not making money or anything like that. So it'll be a short episode this week. I'm basically only been working on two things. You have seen this finished sock last week. And I said, well, I had started working on the cuff of this one. And I hadn't gotten that far. And I was probably up to here at the start of the weekend. Now I'm here. You can see I've turned the heel, I've knit all the way down the leg, turned the heel, knit all the way down the foot, and now I'm on the toe. So I'm planning on knitting on the toe tonight and getting that done so I can get this off the needles. The needles I'm using are Addy squared extra long double pointed needles. These are 2.5 millimeters or a US 1.5. They've worked really well for this sock because you have two needles. You put one half of the stitches on one needle and one half of the stitches on the other, and then this is your working needle. So it's kind of like magic loop, just with double points, imagine that. And they're really easy to work with. I think I paid about $25 for the set on Amazon, or I can't remember exactly where I bought them. But so that's what I've been working on, and I'm using reinforcing thread. I've got some Regia reinforcing thread that I'm using on my toes, and I also use that on the bottom of the heel. These pretty well match up, but they're a little different in maybe one stripe down the foot, and I don't care. They're socks. They're going to be in my shoes. Nobody's going to look and see that there's a different stripe. All I care about is that they're warm. That's the important thing. So that goes back in the plastic bag, and I'll work on that probably while I'm watching the football game. If I watch the football game, we'll see. And then the other thing that I've been working on, and I haven't worked on it too much this weekend because I've been working on other stuff, is a sweater. This is the top-down raglan sweater out of Wool Ease Chunky, which is a discontinued yarn. It's a size 5 yarn that's 80% acrylic and 20% wool. And I had 7 balls in my stash. I had one of cream, two of this light gray, and then I had two of black. I am all the way done. I did ribbing on the bottom of here. And now all I have left to do is the sleeves. The sleeve I am doing out of denim, which is the two other balls that I had in my stash. And then to supplement it, I had this color, which is the Lion Brand Hue and Me by Two of Wands. And this colorway is Shadow Ombre. So I've got a bunch of the black left. I've got some of the cream left. I've got some of the ombre left. So I'll have plenty to do. I think what I'm going to do is do the beginning of the collar with the white, the cream color, and then go to black. And I think I'm going to do the edge of the sleeves in black too. So it'll kind of tie the sweater together. It's kind of a coat of many colors. This is really super easy to do. It's a free pattern that's on Lion Brand's website, and it is really simple increases. They're yarn overs. So if you're a beginner knitter, this would be a good pattern for you because it's also seamless. It has, you work down from the top, hence the name, and then you work down the body and cast off, and then you pick up around the sleeve and you start working on the sleeve. So this will be after I get through with the sock toe. I'll be working on this as well. That'll be this week's project. And then I've got to start working on a blanket for my boyfriend out of Bernat blanket and Bernat baby blanket. I think I'm just going to do a granny square blanket because I bought 2 skeins of Bernat baby blanket in the little sandcastles colorway, and they were, when Joann's picked them off the shelf, of course they picked 2 different dye lots, and I can see it from across the room that one dye lot is lighter than another. So I think what I'm going to do is, and then I have two solids of sort of a brown color that go with it. That's called Brown Bear, that I got at Ollie's on sale a while back. So I think what I'm going to do is the lighter of the little sandcastles in the middle. Then I'm going to do the dark Brown Bear. Then I'm going to do the darker little sandcastles, and then I'll do the other Brown Bear skein around it. So with 4 skeins in a granny square, I should get a really big blanket. I know that I did one with 3 of them that was almost twin size by the time I got done. So I want something that's big and squishy, but something that can also go in a washer and a dryer. And then I have a blanket that I'm working on for Bernat Pop that has 6 cakes of yarn in it. That's the Bernat all-for-one crochet blanket, and that calls for 6 skeins of Bernat Pop that I bought at Ollie's for $2.99 a piece. Oh, must be over a year ago. So that's what I've been working on. The other thing this week I did was last weekend I sold 10 skeins of wool on Facebook Marketplace for $40. I'm getting rid of some of my stash because I needed to lighten the load, so to speak. I'm using those funds that I make to kind of put in my yarn budget. I'm not buying any yarn if I don't have to. If I have yarn that's already in my stash that I can use for something, I'm going to use it. And we're going to see how creative I can get. And plus, I've got more yarn coming. Now, this is not yarn that I'm buying. This is yarn that a coworker who's retired but works for us part-time occasionally called me up and said they were cleaning out his wife's grandma's house and they came across, quote, a lot of yarn. I don't know how much a lot of yarn is. It could be a garbage bag full. It could be totes of yarn. I have no idea. he just said, you want that and all the knitting needles that come with it? And I said, sure, because I'm not going to refuse free yarn, even if it's Red Heart Super Saver. I have a friend, my friend Minuet Knitter on Ravelry also, who lives on the other end of town from me, who's my best friend, knits and crochets also. She'll take some. We have somebody else at work that knits, that once I go through the stuff and see what I want, what Minuet Knitter does not want, we'll figure out a place to donate the rest of it or give it away. I may use it for giveaways. We'll see. And of course, it could be a lot of yarn that I want to keep, but it's always good to get free yarn, and it doesn't count as buying yarn because it's free yarn. So I'm always willing to take free yarn. So that's what I've been working on. So hopefully in a couple of weeks, you'll see a yarn haul, and I'll show all of what I get. That'll be one video, and we'll go through it all and see what's there, because it'll all be a surprise to me. And I'd like to film my reaction as I'm unpacking a bag or a tote or something, to see what there is there, because you never know what you're going to get when you do that. So I hope that you have enjoyed January. I had one other person who participated with me on Instagram with the KU Knits Up Sock It to January. KU Sock Jan was our tag, and you can go and look at our pictures. And I can't remember her name right off, but I know she's been a long-time viewer for a long, long time. She was a listener before that, I believe. And so I will definitely be grateful that somebody else did this with me. I wanted to get pairs of socks done for January. I got one pair of the Mani Petties done. I got one pair of Peyton's Croy socks done to the point where all they need on them is heels now. And then I'll have this pair of Barocco socks that are the red ones that I showed at the beginning of the podcast. Those will be done by the end of the day today. And then I can get started on my boyfriend's blanket. Good thoughts. In the next couple of weeks, the boyfriend is having open heart surgery to fix a valve that is something he knew that for a long time, from the time he was 18, that he would have to have it fixed someday, and someday has come. So they're going to be installing a mechanical valve partway through February. So if you can keep him in your thoughts and prayers, that would be really good. All that positive energy goes to a good place. And it also helps me, since I can't do anything except have good prayers and good thoughts for the surgeon and for him. And I'm sitting here playing with the wireless mic, or the wired mic. So if you saw the tilting, it's not an earthquake. It was just being a little nervous, since I can't go to the hospital. And I can't see him afterwards. He's going to be recovering for quite a while from heart surgery, and won't be able to drive out to my house. So I won't be able to see him. He's staying with his family, his mom and dad right now. So they'll take good care of him. But I can't go visit right after surgery, because he's going to be in the hospital for a week and then won't be able to drive for several weeks. And that's probably more information than anybody ever wanted about me and my personal life, but he's very important to me, so I thought I would share that. And I hope that you enjoy this podcast. Like I said, if you are a viewer and you've just come and you've just found me and you're like, okay, I like her. She's kind of very direct, here's my projects, here's what I'm working on. And it's a short podcast. I like to do short ones because people don't have a lot of time, and am not really that interesting of a person, to be honest with you. So I like to post a short podcast. So please subscribe below and hit that notification bell. I'd like to reach 200 subscribers. And also, if you could let anybody know, if you want to follow me on Instagram, I am KnitterCNY, and again, that's for Central New York. And you can find out my projects there. I usually will post about them there. And please go craft something, because it is very good for your mental health. I know it's good for mine. Have a great day. Bye-bye.